We're back at GarageBand, and I want to jazz our audio podcast up just a little bit by adding a jingle. To open up our project, all we need to do is select it and click Choose. And here's our podcast. Now you'll notice that it has detected a new microphone on my system. And yes, we'll go ahead and we'll use that device. Now, the fourth track here is called Jingles. And that's where we want to add just a little bit of music to spice up our podcast. Take a look at the bottom right-hand corner of our GarageBand window. You'll notice three icons. And the first of these three is the library. Let's click it. Then under our loops, we have Jingles. Go ahead and click on Jingles. And let's go for, I don't know. How about jazz? Now, what I want to do is have a nice little piece of music bringing us into our podcast. So I'm going to use the Bossa Lounger short. The minute I click on it, it starts to play. So I'm going to bring it right into my jingle track right at the beginning of the podcast and let go. And there it is. Now let's click on our voice track and drag it off to the right, say to about 5 seconds or so. And let's give it a listen. When I was a graduate. Okay? Now, let's do the same thing so we have some music to take us out. And we're still only about 30 seconds, so let's go to the Bossa. Lounger medium, the Bossa Lounger medium. Notice I still leave a little overlap. And let's now take our placeholder and let's drag it towards the end. Say to about here. And let's give it a test. Do the same thing with an audio podcast. Okay, so we've got music to bring us in and music to take us out. Let's go ahead and save it. We want to do a share, export podcast to disk. Make sure your compression is the MP3 encoder. Hit export, continue. We could give it another name, but if we use the same name, it'll ask us if we want to replace it, and yes, I do. That's all there is to it. Now we've saved our podcast. Let's go ahead and click on it for one last listen. When I was a graduate student, one of the ways that I was successful at memorizing technical jargon and concepts was to record them on a cassette player and play it back while I commuted to school and back home. You can do the same thing with an audio podcast. Do you see how easy that was?